What is beyond burnout? If you are in a cycle of burnout and you are aware of it, you might be thinking this is it. You're never going to be able to function again the way you once were. But good news, there's life beyond burnout. And today, going to talk about what are some practical things that you can do to get yourself out of this cycle. But before we go there, we're going to talk about the real reasons burnout happened. So don't go anywhere. Welcome to Leading Intentionally, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of leadership transformation. I am Carmen Paredes, your guide in this journey, and I'm so thrilled to have you with us today. In each episode, we share strategies, insights, and stories to help you drive growth, enhance workplace culture, and lead with intentionality. Whether you are a seasoned executive, an aspired leader, or just someone passionate about positivity in the workplace, this podcast is for you. Each week, I'll bring you conversations with thought leaders, experts, and trailblazers that will share with you their insights, wisdom, and experiences so that you can apply these practical tips to your leadership journey. Get ready to explore topics like inclusive leadership, women's empowerment, effective communication, and so much more. If you're ready to lead intentionally and make lasting impact in your organization, you are in the right place. Let's embark in this transformative leadership journey together. This is Leading Intentionally. Let's dive in. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Leading Intentionally. Today, we have with us Elisa Calosso. She empowers professional and entrepreneurial women to overcome burnout, stress, anxiety, and overwhelm by addressing the root causes of their challenges. With a background in human resources in corporate America and a personal journey through anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, her mission is to guide others towards emotional freedom and support them to reclaim their senses of purpose. Welcome to the show, Elisa. It's been a long time in the making, but here we are.
Yes, thank you so much, Carmen. I'm so excited to be talking to you today.
So, you and I share a passion, which is helping women overcome burnout. And I can only imagine, just because I've been following you and I've seen your content, I've seen your videos, that you have also, like me, experienced burnout before. Because only I believe that's the only way where you can really help people, when you have been there in the muck, stuck, and have figured out a way to get out. So, would love to hear your story of how you got burnout and how you're here now.
Yes, so my story, I think it started a long time ago, but I didn't realize it until it got too painful. And I came to this country actually just when I graduated from high school, and with a lot of expectations, goals, and this eagerness to be successful. And I did my college in just 4 years, never stopped for any break, worked through every summer. And then after that, went for my big dream of going to corporate America and finding great jobs, which I was very successful in those jobs. I learned a lot. My bosses used to compliment me for how efficient I was and all the things that I did. But year after year, things got a little bit more difficult. And especially during a time of my life where I was going through some emotional issues, some relationship issues, things got difficult. So that's when I started to realize that there was something going on that I didn't understand. And I started going to traditional doctors, just my primary doctor, to a neurologist, and nobody seemed to know what was happening to me, why I wasn't sleeping, why I was always so overwhelmed. And they prescribed me medication, and all they did was increase my medication every time I complained, because I wasn't seeing any change, any progress. So that was devastating, especially one point where I went to my neurologist and I told her, I don't know what's going on. Why this is not changing? I'm feeling the same. And she couldn't really tell, like, well, I can increase your dosage and let's see what happens. And to me, that was like, I don't know where I took courage from, but I said, no, I'm not going to let this define me. I need to find how I can get better because I don't want to be dependent on a medication. So that's how everything started, all of this journey,
And you,
exploration.
and you know what? What's coming to me is it's so upsetting, right? Because the culture that we have is like, let's just put it off for later. Like we don't even know what we're dealing with. Let's just numb the pain. Let's just stick it even more further. It almost is like with a baby, right? Like they're crying, you give them a pacifier. And that's what we're doing with adults. Like, oh, let's give them a little candy so they, stop complaining about the things that we cannot explain. It really makes me mad because like I was offer prescriptions. I said no from the beginning. And I'm like, because the options, the side effects that I was gonna face, none of them seemed pretty good looking to me. And I'm like, no, I am not going to lose my libido. I am not going to put weight. And I am not going to slow down my brain because I always thought my brain has been my biggest asset, right? And so I was like, it's not acceptable. So I'll go figure it out myself. And it seems like you were able to do the same.
Yes, and it was hard at the beginning. I didn't want to take the medication, but um, I found that everybody else around me were telling me you need to take it. You need to take the medication. It will help you get better. But I also was very afraid of the side effects, and I will always tell myself I'm not going to be dependent on this. I will only try it for 1 3 months, no more than that. And thank God I didn't do it for longer than that. I do understand there are cases where you need the
Absolutely.
medication,
Absolutely.
but I believe that you need to do other type of work as well to
Hmm.
complement your
Hmm.
healing.
Hmm. I agree with you. Yes, there's situations where you truly need the help with balancing the chemicals in your brain, uh, because you might be endangering yourself or others around you. But I
Correct.
would say for the majority of the people, you don't. You don't.
No, you don't. And there are things that I think it's important to understand. During this journey, I really understood the type of personality that I am,
Mm.
the type of person that I am, and the things that trigger me. And before, I wasn't aware of that because
Right.
I didn't really get in touch with what was bothering me, what was
Yeah.
triggering, what was causing all of this. And no medication is going to do that work for you. So,
In
my
fact,
point.
it puts it further away because you numb even the
Yes,
need to get in touch with that areas, those aspects of yourself that are screaming at
right.
you to pay
Yeah.
attention and heal them. And so you
Yes.
actually mentioned something that made me think, because like I'm an immigrant, right?
Yes.
And we have the American dream. Let's go to the US and be successful and have everything within. I mean, I didn't grow up with much, so when I came here, it's like, yeah, let's make lots of money. Um, but one of the things I realized in my journey was that I used work and accomplishments as my drug. I wasn't taking the actual medication, but I was creating dopamine by doing, right? And so, curious to see your take on, do you think that immigrants are more likely to fall in those patterns because of the reasons that we come here for or the expectations that we have when we come to this country?
I think so. In a way, it was my same experience. I come from a family where I am the only daughter, so no
Mm.
more siblings from my generation. Like my father has other kids, but I was alone for a long time. So I feel like in the background there was this expectation, very subconsciously,
Mhm.
like like maybe my parents didn't tell me directly, but it's what I understood and what I took on. Like, I want to make my parents proud. I want to do the best. They're investing on me. This is a big thing. And of course, I wanted to, you know, have that badge of honor, like show everybody and be visible in a way. Even though I'm not the type of person that likes to call out for attention, but I guess subconsciously, this is what you do when you engage in this type of patterns that are destructive in a way and lead to this kind of behaviors.
Yeah. So, okay. So you started your journey to figure it out without the aid of medication, how to get better. So tell us a
Yes.
little bit what that looked like and what tools were you able to use to assist you in that process?
Yes. So everything really got worse during my pregnancy. And it's interesting
Mhm.
because pregnancy should be a time of joy, right? Like, oh, you're going to have this baby and your
Mhm.
life is going to
Mhm.
change. But for me, it was very difficult. I was suffering a lot of, from a lot of anxiety, insomnia, and so my doctor again sent me to for therapy. Therapy wasn't really helping me. So I struggled for some time, like trying to look for answers. And I decided first to enroll in a coaching program. I actually went on Google and look up for how to be happy. Like, what
Oh
does
my God, me
happy
too.
mean?
Me too. Seriously. I used to Google that all the time. And I'm like, how depressing it is that not even Google has the answer to this question.
You see, so I found actually the work of Louise Hay. So I actually started reading about her, and she has a book that's called You Can Heal Your Life. So that was
Yes.
one of the first books that I read about self development and wellness. And then I enrolled into a coaching program because I was always passionate about coaching, and I did coaching in my HR role on a professional level. And that's something that really helped me, like, okay, but more on the healing side.
Mhm.
And of course, it wasn't everything that was the start of my journey. And then I used to practice yoga, and that really helped me calm down and get into my body. So I did that, and then I became also a yoga instructor on the side. I would still do my corporate job, but then in the evenings I would teach yoga. And then little by little, I started to get more interested in this type of practices because they were really helping me, and I could see the changes in me the more I practiced them, like meditation, mindfulness. I would always practice a guided meditation, visualization, all of these kind of things that I'm like, wow, I want more and more. I was craving more and more of this. But then one day I found, actually, this was on Facebook. I found somebody talking about EFT, emotional freedom techniques. And this person was giving a testimony about how she was, like, her journey was very, very hard. Like, she was suffering from a lot of pain. She went through surgeries. She went through so much. And then she one day found tapping EFT and she started doing it. And then I did a practice exercise and I immediately felt relief. Like, I was actually going through some physical pain as well. And I couldn't believe it. Like, in just a few minutes, I was able to notice a change in my body. And then I was hooked for the rest of the time.
So for the audience that are listening, like, what are you gonna get into now, Carmen? Okay, let
Yes.
me tell you my let me give you my story with EFT.
Right, right.
It was May 2013, and I gifted myself a retreat in Bali during Mother's Day. So I went, and this is the first time I did anything woo woo. It was, I didn't even know where I was going, but I was going. It was calling me. So I decided to go to Bali. It was during Mother's Day. So I left my kids behind with their dad. And the minute I got into that plane, my entire left arm got numbed, and it was painful, and it was numbed. And I'm like, WTF, what's happening? Like, why is this happening? Right. And I have a very strong mind. So I'm like, mind over body, it's not gonna bother me. I'm still going, I'm still gonna have fun. I'm like 3 days into this retreat, and my arm is like in so much pain. And I don't take medication. So like I will suffer through the pain, right? And we decided to go to a healer in Bali. That was part of the program. They didn't do it because of me. It was part of the program. And the guy said, "There's nothing wrong with you. You got to release the guilt." And I'm like, "The guilt? What are you talking about?" Because it's subconscious, right? I'm not sitting there thinking, what a horrible mother I am that I left my kids for Mother's Day to go do something for myself, right? But that's what was happening. And then one of the ladies that was in the retreat with me, she was an EFT practitioner in Thailand. And she walked me through maybe a 10-minute routine, and there was pain no more. Pain no more. And I got hooked. It's like you.
You see?
and
Yeah.
and you will find me in places, like, and I don't do the entire circle if I'm in public. I'm not a practitioner, but I just do it for myself. So I'm dangerous. I'm dangerous too. But like yeah, if I get a little pain here or there, I know every pain in my body is emotional. It's emotion strap. So I'm like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? And so I'm very excited you're here, because this is not something I have shared in the podcast. And it's something so easy. Anyone can do. You can do it in your desk if you're stressed, if you are, anxious, before a meeting, before a conversation, after a fight. You can do this anywhere, anytime. So easy. And I'm so excited that you're going to share with the audience how to do this.
Yes, it's very easy. You can learn it on your own. Now, I do want to make you aware that this type of work can go very deep. So, we are just going to do the first level and the intro to it. But you can do so much. And that's what maybe a lot of people don't know. And maybe they've seen it on social media, YouTube, and it looks kind of funny, weird, but it is so effective. And let me tell you, there has been a lot of research and studies. So again, it's not woo. You can always go and find out, and I'm happy to share resources. But just to share really quickly, there was actually a study that I always like to share because it's so interesting. There were actually 3 groups of people. They made 3 separate groups of people. One group, they were reading magazines, so they put them to read magazines, nice magazines, for an hour. The other group, they put them to just have talk therapy. And the other group did EFT tapping. So actually, the group that were reading magazines, and during this process, they took a cortisol test. So through the saliva of the people, they measure their cortisol levels before and after. So the people that were in the room just reading magazines, looking at magazines, their cortisol levels actually raised 2%. The
Wow.
people that were doing talk therapy, it only decreased by 19%.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that were doing EFT tapping, and this was a group setting, their
Mm-hmm.
cortisol levels dropped by 43%.
Wow.
So imagine you can do this and you will instantly get a relief in your stress levels. And you can use words, you can just breathe and tap, and you still will get the benefits. And you don't have to do it for an hour to get the benefits.
The way I like to correlate it to, for my left brain analytical part of me, which is very predominant, believe it or not, this is like acupuncture, right? Like
Yes,
you are just tapping the right, and that's what it's called, tapping, because you're
you're
activating
tapping.
the
Yes.
right places in your
Mhm.
body that helps you process the emotion. So it's a
Yes,
somatic practice. And if you don't know what somatic practice is, it's anything that helps you move energy in your body, like breath work is
correct.
somatic, yoga is somatic.
Right. So EFT, emotional freedom techniques, the background, it's actually a combination of acupuncture and modern psychology. So what we do is, instead of putting needles on our body like an acupuncturist would do, we're just going to stimulate the points by gently tapping on them. And we have all these points around our body, but for the basic recipe, we use 9 points. So all these points are actually connected to an organ in the body. And organs hold emotions. And some emotions are held in certain places. Like, for example, the stomach meridian is under the eyes. And whenever you're feeling fear, whenever you're feeling anxious, you most likely feel it in your stomach. So this is a great place, a great point to release that anxiety, that fear. When we are angry, we hold a lot of our anger in our liver. So under the chest is the liver point. So you will be tapping in this point. All right. So those are a lot of, and like that, a lot of these points are important to stimulate, because it's a way of detoxing ourselves in an energy way. And we are all energy. Even if you don't believe in energy, we are energy. I have actually a prompt here that I want to show you. And this is an energy stick. So, when you hold the two parts, it turns on, it generates light. Yes, we are energy. And if energy doesn't flow correctly, we're stuck. And then that's how it manifests in as a form of pain, disease, whatever it is. All right.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So
Yes.
let's not assume anybody knows what the points that you're going to be tapping are. So
Yes.
yeah, so let's show
So
them
let's
what
do it. So the first point is the side of the hand, and you can tap on any point. And if you like, you can practice with me. So we're just going to do tap and breathe for now. We're not going to incorporate any words. We can do that in the second round if we have time. And this is the small intestine meridian. And we actually do a setup statement here. So the first thing we do is we say what we feel. We say the truth about our problem. So let's say I am stressed out because I have a long to-do list. So I would say it, even though I'm stressed out and overwhelmed because I have a long to-do list. And then you complete the sentence with something that brings comfort. So it's exposure therapy because you're exposing the problem, you're saying the truth as it is, but at the same time, there may be something good about it, and maybe you don't see the good about it yet. Some people say, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Maybe that's too much for now, and we don't want to say
that's what I was going to say, because when I
I
remember
couldn't
I
say
started,
it.
I'm like, but I do not completely
No,
love
I
and forgive
don't right now.
myself.
And that's what I teach my clients, and I show them, you don't have to say it. It has to be something that resonates. Maybe you just say, and I'm just tapping so I can get some relief now.
I like that. That's
Or you can
beautiful.
say, well, I have compassion for myself as I work on this. Or
Or
I'm doing my
maybe
best.
I am open to release this emotion.
Yeah, I'm open to relieve this emotion. Or this is how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
This is where I'm at, right? So you say it 3 times, and it's very personal. So there are scripts that you can follow, but I think it comes to like really saying what you feel. And yes, there is a recipe, but again, it's very personal.
You can rewind these 20,000 times and get the recipe from what Elisa is going to show us. So,
I can share a resource. I can send you a resource with all the tapping points, and you can have that.
they can watch it. It's more views. That's great.
All right. The next point is top of the head. So it's that soft area when you were a baby. So it's right on the crown of the head. And you can take a deep breath as you tap. And then the next point is the eyebrows. So right where the eyebrows begin. And what we will be doing is we will be repeating reminder phrases when we tap on the rest of the points. So we would be saying, my to-do list is so long. It's so overwhelming. So these are the type of things that you can repeat. All right. So side of the eye is the next point, right next to the eyes. And you would just be telling your truth. It's just so much. I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete my to-do list today. So we focus on the negative first. We don't
Mhm.
sugarcoat things when we do
Mhm.
tapping. We really say the truth. We want to be able to give permission to those emotions to come to the surface.
Yeah.
All right. The next point is under the eyes. And I was telling you that this is the stomach meridian point.
Yeah.
So again, it's really good for your stomach and to release all that guilt, all that stress and anxiety and fear. All right. The next point is under the nose. And you may feel like you automatically take a deep breath. That's great. That's a way of your body telling you, thank you, and releasing some of that stress. Or you may be
Mhm.
yawning. That's also a way of releasing. Okay. The next point is the chin point, or they also call it under the mouth point. The next point is the collarbone point, and I saw you doing this earlier. So right
Yeah.
below your collarbone, so you find your collarbones, and just below, yeah. And the last point is under the arms. So right under your armpits, 4 inches down, and it's by the broad line for the ladies. And you can do one side or you can do both sides. So that's the basic recipe. You do it uh, as many times as you like. There are other points, like the liver point that I was showing you. There are other exercises that we do with the eyes and other things that will be for processing more like traumatic type of events and things like that. Yeah.
I love that. And one of the things I remember, because, we are skeptics by nature because we've been conditioned to, like, just look for external solutions to solve all the problems. And so, one thing that you want to do, I'm talking to the audience, and I would love for you to walk us through a short round so people can get a little relief by watching this episode. But take assessment of where you are, how you feel, how much turmoil you have inside of you before doing the round,
Yes.
and get ready to be surprised, amazed when you take assessment right after it and you see how there is absolutely some relief. I have never seen anybody. I teach my kids, and again, I'm dangerous. I'm not a teacher, so who knows how many ways I'm doing it wrong, which means you can do it wrong. Obviously, you want to have a teacher like Elisa to walk you through, especially if you are really deep into stressful situation. But like I've taught my teachers in school, it's like if you're getting anxious or mad, just karate chop is what I tell them. Karate chop, do the karate. So it's like just
Yeah.
um but yeah, I would love for you to let's, if we could do a little like short circuit, um to release a little bit of anxiety that comes with
Yeah,
burnout or
sure, sure. So the first thing, it would be important for you to write down from a scale from 0 to 10, how strong is that anxiety or stress, whatever you're feeling right now. How strong is that emotion? And it's very personal. We call it as SUD, so it's subjective unit of distress. And this is just the same way as you would go to the doctor and they ask you what's your pain level. So again, it's very personal. It's your own pain level, and it could be physical or it could be emotional. So if you are, and let's pick a topic. Like you will be my demo person, Carmen.
yes.
What would you like to just general anxiety? And
mm,
we can role play. So I mean, and you can
yeah,
pick something that's happening right now. You don't have to tell me all the details.
yeah, no,
If you like,
this is interesting, right? Because I when it comes to burnout. I'm not there, but let's role play it. Like let's role play.
yeah,
I'll transpose myself because I want to tell you something that just happened. Right, I am not particularly anxious or stressed about anything, but I'm
okay,
human, right? Life happens, so there is other
yeah.
things happening, and just with what we did, I absolutely feel better already.
I saw you. I was gonna comment on that because even your facial expression and your energy
Yeah,
was more relaxed. I could sense that.
yeah, no, absolutely, and it was totally something
Yeah,
unrelated to what we're doing here. So
yeah.
there you
Let's
go.
do a general round with anxiety, and you guys can take just feel it, have a taste of it. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's go on the side of the hand, and again, just write it on the piece of paper, whatever your number is, and we're gonna do one round. And just follow me like Simon says, and you can repeat after me out loud or mentally. So even though I'm stressed out
Even though I'm stressed out,
and I'm feeling this stress, and you
and
can
I'm
say where you feel it. Is there any part in your body where you're feeling this stress? Maybe your chest, maybe your shoulders, maybe your neck, or maybe you don't feel it anywhere. It's just this overwhelming my head. It's just all these things that I have to do. Right here and right now, I'm learning this weird tapping exercise.
yeah,
Even though there is so much stress in my life and it doesn't seem, it will never stop. And it's like go, 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 go all the time. Right here and right now, I'm giving myself permission to just take a break. Even though life can be so stressful
even though life can be so stressful,
and I don't know when to stop,
I don't know when to stop.
I don't know how to relax.
I don't know how to relax.
Maybe today I can shift that.
Maybe today I can shift that.
All right. So we did the three set of statements. So let's move through the points. So top of the head, and we're just going to do reminder phrases. This anxiety, this stress.
This stress.
Yeah. Eyebrows. I feel it. And just say where you feel it in your body. Again, if there is a place where you feel it. Side of the eyes. I acknowledge there is so much stress around me.
I acknowledge there's so much stress around me.
Under the eyes. And it's hard for me to relax.
And it's hard for me to relax.
Under the nose. There are so many responsibilities.
There's so many responsibilities.
So much to do.
So much to do.
Chin point. How can I stop?
How can I stop?
It's hard to take a break.
It's hard to take a break.
Collarbones. I want to relax.
I want to relax.
I want to practice self-care.
I want to practice self-care.
But sometimes it's hard and I don't know how.
Sometimes it's hard and I don't know how.
Under the arms. But maybe today I can shift that.
Maybe today I can shift that.
Maybe I can come up with some ideas.
Maybe I can come up with some ideas.
Maybe it doesn't have to be so hard.
Maybe it doesn't have to be so hard.
Maybe I don't have to take a full hour.
Maybe I don't have to take a full hour.
What if I can just take deep breath?
What if I can just take deep breath?
Whatever idea comes to mind, it's okay.
Whatever idea comes to mind, it's okay.
And I trust I can release some of this stress today.
And I trust I can release some of this stress today.
Maybe I'm not able to do it all at once.
Maybe I'm not able to do it all at once.
And maybe this tapping won't work.
You will.
For my skeptical people. But I'm open to the idea that it might work.
Well, I'm open to the idea that it might.
Yes. And I'm open to feeling better.
And I'm open to feeling better.
And shifting this stress energy.
And shifting this stress energy.
All right, take a deep breath. So that was just 2 rounds.
I love it. And I would love for the audience if you could comment, right? This video lives in YouTube, right? If you can comment how you feel and anything shifted. Like I was able to, and now I am proficient in managing my energy. So maybe you don't feel anything but just a relief, which is amazing. This is where I was the first time. I mean, like literally physical pain went away. But
Mhm.
like this time we are doing it, I actually was feeling energy moving in my body, which I have not felt that before with tapping. So that's pretty awesome.
Good.
Yeah. So you
That's
can feel it moving. You can feel just the, I don't have this weight on my shoulder. And then you see how easy, like if I would have had this tool when I was deep in the mug of stressing, I know that this is something you can do really quick before a meeting, right? Or after a meeting. How many times you finish a meeting and you're like fuming because things didn't go your way, right? Or with motherhood, we talk about motherhood and it's such a beautiful thing, but it's really stressful. I mean, I had horrible postpartum depression, horrible. And these would have helped me feel better, right? And so I am so grateful you came today, Elisa, and you shared these
you.
tools. And I want you to tell the audience, how do they get more of you?
Oh,
Because this
thank you
is
so
just the
much.
beginning. This is just the beginning, right? Like I
Yeah,
know common questions for people are like, I don't know what to say, or
right.
what specific, how long do I have to do it? Or how do I know it's working? And so this is why you probably want to work with someone who is an expert in guiding
Right. The
people.
first thing I recommend everybody that it's getting into this practice is just learn the points and breathe. You don't have to say anything.
Hmm.
And you can even focus on whatever you're feeling, the stress or the pain, and just tap and breathe. And then as you get more comfortable, you may want to start adding some words. But again, for the deeper work, it's better to work with a practitioner because you want to create that safe space and you don't know exactly what you will get to. And so especially with the tapping, you may get triggered with past memories, so
Hmm.
it will be important to work through those memories, because what we're doing actually is through tapping we're sending a calm signal to the amygdala in the brain where the stress response is generated. That's what's physically is happening in our
Hmm.
bodies.
Hmm.
And that's how a lot of the memories in the brain are stored like that, like those pictures, like and the five senses. So we will work with those. So again, that's deeper work, and you can learn to do this to a certain point, but I think it will be important to yes, get and have a conversation with a practitioner. You guys, I'm on LinkedIn, Elisa Calosso. You can reach me there. You can see my work there. My website is letter U, Flourish, FLOURISH, coaching.com. So you can find me there. And I do have freebie you can download, the acupressure points that I show you. There is a guide and there is a small exercise that you can get there and just get started. I think it will be a great practice.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And did you guys notice that we matched? We didn't coordinate this.
I know. I was gonna tell you, like I noticed during the recording, but yes, you see, and
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
get the
very
name.
transparent and authentic with my audience, so this is just normal Carmen being just well, it's been a pleasure. I am so grateful for your
Likewise.
generosity, and guys, you gotta really try this. I know you're like, oh my god, there's no way it's gonna work. I'm promising you, it's going to work. Now,
Yeah,
like
it will.
any tool, if you don't use it, it's not gonna
You
work.
lose.
Watching the video alone is not gonna work. I mean, you see that I did it with her. That's all you have to do. So if you didn't do it, rewind, 10 minutes back and do it with us, and you're gonna see the difference. And after that, go follow Elisa in social media, and make sure you stay connected.
Thank you,
So thank you.
Carmen. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Oh, thank you. And you guys know, until next time, live intentionally.